Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a better player model for your Gorilla Tag fan game. I'm sorry that the last video was quite lazy and a bit like it was just not good quality. So I want to give a credit to the person who created these hands. I'm using a tutorial on how to make hands. I don't know his name, but post-crediting, in editing, you can see it above on the screen right now. Go subscribe to him, he will be linked in the description. Now, if you're not bothered to model this yourself, you can go to my Discord server, also linked in the description, to get the model and download it for free. You don't need to give me credit, it'd be cool if you would, but you don't have to. Once again, I don't really care. Okay, let's get straight into it. So first things first, you want to open up Blender. Once you're in Blender, press A to select all the objects, come up to the selection scenes collection, and then just delete all of these objects. Now add a new mesh and add a cube. This is going to be our torso. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this sparrow, wrench icon, go into add modifier, subdivision surface, and then set the viewports to 2. We're going to be modeling this in 2 viewports. You can obviously go higher, but the more higher you go, the laggier it is, and it also takes a lot more time because you've got to select all of these faces individually. Now we're going to make the torso. So we're going to go into edit mode, and as you can see, it's like a box. Now go up here and select the face tool up at the top, and then select the top face, and press E to extrude the face, just so it extends it out like a little bit like that. You can also, now we want to extend this out like this, just to make it a little bit thicker. You can obviously shrink this back down to normal size. Now I think I should disclaim this now, my tutorial on how to do this isn't the greatest quality. Like, the torso isn't the greatest, but everything else is good. I'm not the greatest at modeling the torso, but you can obviously mess around and make it look how you want it to look. So there is our torso completed. Now, actually no, not completed, sorry. Now it's time to model it. So now what we want to do is we want to select our torso, click on the little down arrow, and we'll click on apply. Now go back into editing, and there you can see that you can select all of these faces. Now select these 4 faces up the top, and you can basically just use the movement tool to move these faces to your liking. Now obviously, I'm doing it the way that I do it, but my model, in my opinion, doesn't look the greatest for the torso, so you can obviously mess around and do whatever you really want with your torso. It's nothing like you have to go this way. It's all about moving around faces to make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to speed this up so you can still understand it, and I'm going to speed this up. Now something I should probably say is that you can rotate these faces to make it not look as spiky, because as you can see, if I go into the side view, it kind of looks a bit weird, like it's a bit hard, spiky at the end, so you can use the rotation tool to make a face a little bit smoother with other faces. Okay, so there's our torso completed. Now it's time for the arms. So the first thing you want to do is move away this object, just use the movement tool, and just move this out of the way for now. Click on add and cube again, and then give it the modifier of subdivision surface, and make it 2 viewports. Now we're going to go back into edit mode, and we're going to use the extrusion tool, aka press E, select a face, press E just to extrude it like that, and that's going to be our first little bit of our arm. So I'm actually going to do this, and I'm actually going to rotate it just because, as you can see, this side's a little bit stubbier, and then this side's a bit more ugly and extended. We don't want the ugly side, so I'm going to rotate it around like so. You can use the upper view to do that. Now obviously it is a lot bigger, so we're going to scale this down like so. Let me give you a second. We're going to scale down the arm to fit with the body. So scale it down to about the size you want it. You can also use the different side views just to see the size that you want. So that's a perfect size in my opinion. There we go. And you want to now select Control V, Control C again, pull this guy forward, and put it about there. Now, instead of just finishing it there, we're going to select this object here, click on edit, and then we're going to select the front face here. And we're just going to push this back a little bit, just so it's a little bit stubby at the end where our hand's going to go. Now go into edit mode again, object mode, and select both of these bits. Select both of these, and then Control C, Control V, pull this over, and then rotate this like so. So if you go on the top view, that's actually perfect. Okay, that is now done. faces. So go on mesh, cube, and we're going to move this cube out of the way, and then go back into edit mode, and we're going to select one of these faces and pull it. So press E to extrude. I'm just going to extrude it just to the size of the other cube that we've just added. Now do it a third time. And there is the first part of our hand completed. Now select these faces by holding shift. Use the extrusion tool and extrude it like that. And then extrude it again like that. Now press shift and then deselect this one in the middle. And use the extrusion tool and make this a little bit longer. And then add a bit of a stub at the end. Now it's time for the thumb. We're going to do this. Pull it out about that much. And then we're going to go back into object mode, select the hand, click on add modifier, subdivision surface, and set this to 2 viewports. Now I'm going to go back into edit mode, and we're going to select the thumb bit, and we're going to use the rotation tool to rotate it like that, and then we're going to use the movement tool to pull this up, just so the thumb looks a little bit better. Now another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to push this down so it has a bit of a depth, because obviously this one's a bit longer, and this one's a bit shorter. There is our hand completed. Now don't press on apply or else your hands will not work for the model. Now I'm going to rotate it just to fit with my character. There we go. There is our hand set up. Now I'll copy this and then do it for the other side. Okay, so that's our main body completed for the model. So I'm going to select all of this and just push this out of the way even more. Move my camera over by pressing on this little hand tool. Now it's time for the head, the coolest part in my honest opinion. So select add a cube and add a modifier and give this subdivision surface. I can't speak, bro. And then select the level viewport and set this to 2, like so. And then press the down arrow and press on apply. Now go back into edit mode and move your camera down. So now it's time to move this for the face. So select these 4 faces down the side, and I'm just going to pull it down a little bit, and then we're going to pull it forward. Boom, like that. So that's going to give our face a little bit of depth. I'm also going to select this. I'm just going to push these faces in a little bit, just to make the head look a little bit better. And then I'm going to give this face a little bit of a cheek, like that, and that. Now basically it's all up to you now. You can model it what you like. I'm going to give you an example of how I'm doing it, but obviously if we turn the thing around it still looks like a ball on one side. So I'm just going to select these 2 faces here, push them in, and then go over to this side and then do the same on this side. We're basically just going to duplicate everything we're doing on one side to another side. So now we're going to select these 2, use the rotation tool to pull it in like that, and then we're going to select these 2 and then do the exact same thing. Now I'm going to speed this up a little bit, but obviously it's going to be slow enough for you to understand. So there is my head done. So move the body over to the middle, select the head, and we're going to pull this up. Look at the side view. I'm just going to scale this down to fit with our body. There we go. Now it is time to finish this model up with a good old little make edit so it looks a lot better. So select the torso, the fur texture that's going to be on your model. So I'm just going to do all of this. So hold shift and just select all of these. Now from what we've learnt with the extrude tool, press E and extrude this back just a little bit, just to add a little bit of depth. You obviously do not have to do this, but I think it looks better. So I'm going to go up here, select the head, select all of these faces, which is going to be for the head. Extrude it like that. Like that. There we go. Now we want to go up to File, Export, FBX, and then just give it like just call it like a player mesh. So, player mesh. Export. Now close out of Blender. Now open Blender again. Once you're in Blender, once again press A and then delete all of these objects. Now go File, Import, and then import the mesh under FBX dot. So there is our player. It's backwards, but down. Now select all of these, and then right click and then press on Join. Now we've got our player model all set up. Now it's time to texture it. For the fur texture, I'm going to use a texture in the Stored Resources channel in the Gorilla Tag Modding Discord server. Obviously, you can use whatever you want for the fur texture, but what you want to do, scroll up a little bit, and the first thing you're going to find is this. Select this fur texture, and then just save image as. Once you've done that, scroll even further up. Now, the main fur textures are a bit further up, so just keep on scrolling, and then you'll eventually come up to the fur textures up here, like so. You can select any color. I'm just going to select this red fur texture since I think it looks cool, and save that. Now it's time to add the textures. So what you want to do, you want to go into shading, and you just want to go to the front facing view, scroll in, select this little bowl icon down the bottom, click on new, and then you want to press on the plus button, new, and then the plus button again, and new. Now what we want to do is add the fur texture. To add a fur texture, press on the add button, search, and then you want to find image texture. Press on open, and then add your fur texture. There's my fur texture. Now, unfortunately, there's no way at the moment that I know of to fix this annoying texture thing where it's like it spreads it all out, makes it look all bad. There'll be another tutorial in the future once I figure out how to fix that, but for now, that's just how it's going to go in this tutorial. There's probably other tutorials on how to fix it, but yeah, that's what we're going to be using for today. The next one is going to be the face. So we're going to add image texture. Image, or my face image has been selected. Now, time for the torso fur texture, which we're going to go add, image, texture, drag these two, open, and light fur. And there we go. Now what we want to do is we want to go zoom in, and we want to find, we want to go into edit mode, to all of the faces for the torso. I'm going to go into face edit select mode, and just select all of these faces like that. And then we want to select our fur texture, like our torso fur texture, and click on assign. Now it's going to look all weird, don't worry, we'll fix that. Now I'm going to add the face texture, we're going to select this, and then we're going to go here, assign. And once again it's going to look kind of weird, so now we're going to go, we're going to go into UV editing, and we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to select these faces for the face so far, like that. And then we're going to go here, front facing view. And we're just going to project this from our own view, so we're going to go to UV, and then project from view. We select all of these by pressing A, or just selecting them, and then make it bigger, and then there we go. So there is our face, and then for our torso fur, it's going to look a bit weird again, so I'm going to select this, do that, and we're going to go add image, and we're going to add our light fur. Then we're going to go project from view, and then select this, and then make this bigger. Good. Now that we've done that, our textures are fully set up, as you guys can see, like so. Now it's time for rigging. So go back into layout, and go there, and then go into the front facing view, like this. Front facing view. Click on add, and then we want to go find armature single bone. Now we can't see it yet. We want to click on this little man icon, and then we'll click on viewport displays in front. So now that we can see this, we want to select this bone, and we just want to move it down a little bit, but we want to scale this guy up as well, just so we have a big old torso. Move this back down. Now go into edit mode, and now it's time to modify this. So press select on the ball, press E, and this is going to extrude as our shoulder. Now don't worry about this side of the build yet. We're not doing anything with that. We're going to clone this entire rig over to that side. So now that we're going to do, select this, and then we're going to select here, here, here. Now we're going to select this, press F2, and this is going to be our torso. We're going to select this bone, this one's going to be our neck. I'm actually going to bring this up just a little bit by pressing G. This one is going to be our head. It actually might move as well, like that. This one is going to be our shoulder. This one is going to be our upper arm. This one's going to be our lower arm. And then this one's going to be our hand. Now that we've done that, we're going to go into the front facing view, select this bowl, and we're going to go into the Y facing view. We're going to press E to extrude there, and then we're going to do the same for this bowl here. Extrude this one out like that. Now, these both are going to be named, so this one's going to be named IK Target, and then this one is going to be named IK Pole. Now we want to select this, Alt P, and then we want to clear the parent, and then we're going to select this one, Alt P, and then we want to clear this parent as well. Now go back into the facing view like we were, select on the movement tool, and move this bone forward like that. There we go. Now we want to set up the arm. So select this bone on the arm, and then we want to go into pose mode. Now that we're in pose mode, select this little icon down here, add bone constraint, and then we want to find inverse kinematics. For target, we want to select the armature. For bone, we want to select IK target. For pole, we want to select armature, and for bone, we want to select IK pole. Now the entire rig's going to look weird. Set the chain link to 2, like that, and it's going to go back to normal, as per usual. Now, for this bone, this is going to be our hand, so click on Add Bone Constraint, and we're going to do Copy Rotation. Now that we've done that, click on Target, Armature, Bone, IK Target, and then it's going to look all weird. So for invert, press on X and Y, and then for target, press on local space. There we go. Now select this bone, press G, and as you can see, we can now move our arm freely as if it's just a normal old arm. Now you can press Ctrl Z. Once you've done messing around with that, select all of these bones on this section. Go back into edit mode, then select these bones here, and then we want to go to armature, and then we want to find names, auto name left to right. Now this is going to be our right side, or it could be our left side. Now I'm going to click on armature, and then I'm going to do symmetrize. Now sometimes it already goes like on this side. For me it hasn't, so what you want to do is you want to just use the rotation tool, and you just want to rotate this like that. And we just want to rotate it so it syncs with the other arm like that. Now this isn't the best way to do it. You want to try and get your model so it goes on this side, but obviously it hasn't worked for me. Now it's kind of weird and I don't really know how to fix that problem, but I am just going to do this, make sure it's all synced in, and move this. Alright, well that is all done. Now I just want to make sure that the torso is all done. Now that that's done, go back into edit mode, object mode, and select the mesh, and then hold shift, and then select the bone, and then press Ctrl P, and then select with automatic weights. Now the model's going to look all weird because obviously the arms have switched up a little bit. So this arm's going to look weird, but don't worry, all this is going to change. And there is our model completed. It's been rigged, it's all set up. You can download this, link in the description. There'll be another tutorial on how to set us up with Photon with working Photon colors. But yeah, that's all for today. Go subscribe for the guy who made the hands. No, yeah, goodbye.